Hello and welcome to Shop Talk with Dan the Man. Today's video we're going to discuss this. This is RYOBI's Power Inflator. Stay tuned to find out more. Hello, if you're new to this channel, my name is Dan Shannon. I enjoy woodworking as a hobby and being out in the shop. On this channel, dive deep into my shop as we explore tools and tool reviews, as well as chatting about everything related to woodworking. If this grabs you by the tool belt, please subscribe to my channel if you want more videos like this. Shop Talk with Dan the Man. In today's video we're going to discuss this. This is RYOBI's Power Inflator, model number P737. This is your typical power inflator, battery powered pump for your vehicle, bikes, air mattresses, basketballs, the list goes on for the application. Just wanted to say, if you're new here, welcome, thanks for joining in. And if you're returning, thanks for stopping in. So first we're going to jump into the features of this power inflator, what it has to offer, and then we're going to jump into some hands-on, how it works out on the field, and then we're going to jump into some final thoughts from myself. Alright, so let's jump into some features. Right off the bat, you're going to notice for features, you have your hose cable with your end connection. That's kind of a typical setup for any power inflator. You need to connect it to whatever you're pumping up, and as well you have your motor and the body of the unit. So if you look at the hose, it's made quite well. It's got pretty thick gauge to it, which means two things. Over time it's going to last, and second of all, any heat that is conducted, because these do get pretty warm, it's going to be able to disperse it a little bit better without damaging the cable. On the end you're going to have your typical connection to mount. So you just mount it on the stem. So say you're pumping up a bike or a vehicle, you just mount it on the stem, and then it just locks in place. So nothing overly fancy. You're probably used to that with the old school bike pumps, or at least I am. It works great. It's very, I guess, basic as far as connections go. But at the end of the day, if it does the job, that's really all you need it to do. Alright, so we'll slide to the side of the machine. You have your motor here. So lots of vents. Very nice for cooling, because this does generate quite a bit of heat, especially if you're pumping up, say, a vehicle. On your back, you'll notice there's a gauge that shows you your PSI. So when you have this hooked up, you'll see that gauge increase as you're pumping up whatever your task is during that time. And along the back, you just have a really nice grip. And there's not really anything on the bottom. If we spin around to the front, you'll notice there's your trigger. So this is just, it's not a sensitive trigger. The more you press it, the more it'll actually increase. It's just, as soon as you press it, it turns on full. The front, as we go further down, you'll notice on the front nose piece, there's some connectors here. Now these connectors are great for bikes. There is a stem here. Oh, as I drop everything, there's a stem here, so that just attaches. It's a threaded unit. Just threads on to your end. You stick it in your basketball or soccer ball, whatever you're pumping up, and then once it's deflated, you just unlock it again and pull the stem out. So very basic, but it does the job. Here's another plastic piece. This is for different types of connectors. And then there's one more that's in here, and this is for, if I can pick it up, this is for an air mattress. You can stick that into an air mattress or a beach ball, anything like that, and it will pump it up really quick. So it's cool that all these attachments are built right onto the tool. I always like when companies do that. That way you're not fumbling, or where did I leave that basketball needle? You know, it's right here, clip onto the unit. So that's pretty much it for features. You know, this dial doesn't turn. You can't change the PSI, rigid one that you can change the PSI for auto. So you just turn the dial and it sets the PSI. So when you're done, it just turns off the machine. So that's a cool feature. But RYOBI, at the end of the day, it's just you know, an inflator that works great. So let's jump into some hands-on. Before we jump into the hands-on, it's good to note RYOBI makes different types of batteries, different sizes of batteries. For your power inflator, it's not a big deal which size of battery. It's just going to change your run time on your unit. Right here we have a 4 amp hour, which is ample to pump up most things. If you're running into time, so say a vehicle truck tire, that might take a while. This might actually stop running or overheat the product. So, you know, depending on what you own for batteries, you know, I would say the 4 amp hour or even a 2 amp hour, you're just going to change your run time is really what it comes down to. So I just wanted to add that in there as, you know, basically some thoughts on your batteries. All right, let's jump into some hands-on. All right, so here are some hands-on. First we're going to, this is my truck tire, so we're just going to hook it up and see how it performs on the truck tire, and just give it an overall view of how you hook it up, so how this end piece works. You know, some people might say it's pretty straightforward, but it also helps to see it firsthand how you mount it to the tip of the truck tire. So let's dive in. So you just got to remove your cap from your stem. So once you pull that off, put that on the ground. I like to put it in my pocket so I don't lose it, which usually happens. It rolls under your truck or whatever. So you want to have this end piece snapped open, so the unlock position. You just slide it over top of your stem. You'll hear some air gush out a little bit, and then you just lock it in place. And then of course you can see on my needle it says 30 for the PSI. So that's the PSI that's in the tire right now. It's at 30, and I'm just going to hold it and bring it up to say 35. So I'll notice with this gauge, at least on the truck tire, it kind of overinflates with the needle as you're filling. And then the needle, you got to wait for it to drop down slightly to give you the true PSI. So it's just over 30, 31 right now. It is a truck tire. Any vehicle tire, of course, is going to take quite a while to pump up, just because the size compared to a bike tire. So just be patient. I was really happy with how quiet this was. It wasn't overly loud, you know, so that's a great feature.
as far as I'm concerned, on a tool, not deafening. So good job, RYOBI, for that. And like I said, you know, the gauge, just make sure if the needle's going up as you're pumping, you just wait a second so it can pressurize. When the needle comes back down, get a true reading. All right, so that's it for the truck tire. Just give you a preview. I'm not gonna deflate it down to the rim and then fill it up again. We'd be here all day, but just give you an idea of how it works. So to remove this, you just snap that back again and then just pull it off. So it's that easy, you know, to mount it onto the stem and then back off again. All right, let's jump into a bike tire. Okay, so now we're jumping into a bike tire. Let's see how the Power Inflator handles a bike tire. So this is my daughter's bike. She's got it last year. So we all love biking as a family. And what better to have a cordless power inflator so that when you're out on the trails, if your tires are low, or a lot of times I'll throw it in the truck and we'll have all our bikes. I usually check the tire pressure before we go, but sometimes you got to get going and just take this with you, and you can double check when you get to your location. So same process with the tire. You just remove the cap. Take your end piece here, and then you clip it onto the stem as I showed on the truck. You hear a little air gush out, it means you have a good connection, and then you just lock it in. So that's locked in. It says here that I have close to 20 psi. Your tire will actually tell you on the border how much psi. On this one, it says, where are we at here? Sometimes it's hard to read. You just gotta find it on the sidewall. It says 50 max psi. So I know on this bike, the maximum I can go is 50 on this needle. So I'm gonna pump it to about 35. Right now it's sitting around 20. So it was stored over the winter time. A lot of times your air in your tire will deflate slightly just because temperature change and all that. So let's inflate that now. Okay, so we went from 20 to 35 just that quick. So this is a great unit, nice and quiet. I really like it. And then to take it off the bike tire, you just unclip the, you'll hear a little gush of air, that's normal. Just pull that off and you're all set. And then just reinstall your cap to your stem. And then I'll do the other tire later. But yeah, just give you a hands-on preview of this power inflator and what it can do for your kids' bikes, your bikes, and your vehicle. And as well as, of course, you have the attachments for basketballs and soccer balls and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully that gave you a great example of how quiet this thing is and how capable it would be for your needs. Let's jump into some final thoughts. So what are some final thoughts of this power inflator that I have? I would say at the end of the day, there are better products out there. However, if you're part of the RYOBI tool lineup, you already have their batteries, and the bare tool is sold usually fairly priced for what it is. I would say go ahead and pick it up. You can see from the usage, we just pumped up a tire from a truck, just inflated that, and a bicycle tire. So you can see that it works fine, and it'll do more than your needs at the end of the day. And of course, you know, you have the gauge
that you can go by. So some of the other ones, depending on what you're using, there's not as clear of a gauge on the back just to give you that PSI. And of course, the main thing with this tool is it's cordless. So a lot of times with your vehicle, I know myself, you have the AC charger ones. Back then we call them cigarette chargers. You just plug it in and you have your cord dangling out your door of your vehicle, and it's just as annoying. Same with your bikes. If you ever wanted to pump them up, you got to pull them alongside your vehicle, start your vehicle, run the cord out. It's just over the top annoyance. So when you have a cordless product like this, it's very nice to go around and inflate, like I said, vehicles or bikes or basketballs or whatever you're trying to do. So I would say great job, RYOBI. Performance is, I would say at the end of the day, it does exactly what it needs to do, and some tools just don't. So I would give that a thumbs up for you know, the overall practicality and what it will do. Does it have all the bells and whistles that others do with the auto PSI? No, it doesn't. But on your typical day, how often are you going to use it, and does it meet your needs? And that's really what it comes down to when it comes to a shop or tools in general. Does it meet your needs? And I would say at the end of the day, this does exactly what it's meant to do. So great job, RYOBI, and they have over 300 products to choose from. So once you're into their lineup with batteries and accessories, I mean, sky's the limit as far as the different types of tools you can own. So, you know, yeah, why not? You can tell that I'm a rigid owner for the most part. I borrowed this from a friend of mine just to do a review on. And at the end of the day, you know, like I say, no matter how big or how small your shop is, just get out and have fun, and no different than your tools. Whatever projects you're doing, if it works for you and it does the job exactly what you need it to do, why not? And you can save some money sometimes by getting something that works just fine, and you know, why not, right? So thanks for watching. Please give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to be part of the Shop Talk family, just click on that link below and you can be part of the Shop Talk family. And once again, have yourself a great day, and thanks for watching.